Hey everyone, today I've got the 33 movie review. This is a true story of when these 33 Chilean miners were trapped for at least 69 days before getting rescued. As far as the story goes, the miners basically go in, they get trapped. Then there's this issue with the people versus the government people, or I guess the suits who are involved, and maybe some don't really want to help with the rescue effort and just want to give up altogether. There is this plan, though, to rescue these miners with a drill, and that is how they attempt to get to them. It really does turn out that the story feels a little bit bland, and even though I had only heard about this event on the news, but it was very brief, so seeing a movie about these true events, I was thinking, okay, how far do they really need to take it? As far as the casting goes, you've got Antonio Banderas, who plays one of the leading miners, and I obviously love him as an actor. I think he does a really good job in this movie, and I feel like he does stand out in the crowd, so I really liked his performance in this movie. And then you're going up against someone like Rodrigo Santoro, who is one of the suits in this movie, and not everybody really likes him for that, and I obviously see that he is a genuine person, and he does care about the circumstances with the miners, and he's in charge of that whole thing. He also does a really good job, and you see just like his range with acting as well as his emotional side. We've got other minor roles in this movie. Juliette Binoche, who I would have never suspected to be in a movie like this, considering her background. Now, I don't consider that to be a huge problem, because unless you can pull it off easily, then it will be believable, which in this case, I think it did. And there's other actors in this movie to name, like James Brolin, and just a whole bunch of others who were really good as well, because the acting in this movie, I think, was really well done, and you definitely see how far they can be pushed, even to the point of, feeling like maybe there isn't any hope, but you definitely see that in their eyes. The things that I did like about this movie, there's this scene with all of the miners sitting at this table, and I couldn't really tell. I mean, obviously it wasn't real, and it was probably just like their imagination. They're hallucinating because they're running out of food and water and all that stuff, and they're seeing like all of their significant others just sort of trying to spiritually lift them up. So I thought like that was really nice imagery there. This movie it definitely has those elements of being intense, because I would say that this is not so much of a disaster type film, even though the whole series of events seemed like, yes, it could have turned into a much worse disaster, despite it turning out to be a miracle in the end. So I think if people were expecting that to be the case of it being a disaster type movie, this wouldn't be for them. This was very heartfelt. I was definitely sensing all of the emotions and just like the changing of moods that people were in, and it was really crazy. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was the fact that for over 2 hours long, this movie did really drag on a bit, and I feel like I could break this movie down into 3 different stages. Like you've got the part where, the miners just going down there and, doing their job, and then they get trapped, and then they have to get rescued. It's basically like how that was all being placed. Like I said, knowing what the story is already, based off, since this is a true story, it obviously was going to be predictable unless you totally were living under a rock and you didn't know what the heck this was all about. Overall, I would say that the 33 did have its good moments, but it definitely had some disappointing parts in it as well. but I feel like as a movie, it should still be worth seeing, but I don't think everybody is going to truly appreciate how well this movie could have had potential. So I would give this 3.5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the 33. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, coming every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys later.